A very warm welcome here from Vasiliki to the Starboard Ride Along channel collaboration, if you like. I'm Cookie from the Ride Along channel here on YouTube. You can find a little link to my main channel just below. Here on the Starboard channel to give you a little bit of an insight about what you can do to make your windsurfing a little bit more efficient, a little bit less effort, a little bit less stress, and just a small little change that might well make all the difference to your riding comfortableness. Here we go. Cue credit. Now, if this is your first time joining me on the Starboard channel or ever, hi, welcome. This is the way the session's going to go. Is I'm out here in a windy Vasiliki on a 103 Ignite and a 5 meter spy from 0.7. You're live and on board. Everything you're seeing, minus maybe the odd clip I'll throw in here and there just to solidify some of my points. And I want to give you a little bit of a rundown on a few techniques and skills that will really help you out, live and on board. Don't forget, if you want to hear about more of these sessions coming up on the Starboard channel, as well as mine, whack that little subscribe button down at the bottom, hit the little bell so you get the alerts, and stay tuned. Now then, this session, front hand positioning. So, in a gust, bring the camera around here a little bit so you can see my hands that little bit clearer. Now what you'll notice, I hope, is that my front hand is a long way back, right up, almost touching, in fact, almost touching that front harness line. Now if I want to get planing, I need that front hand back and actually pushing through that front hand to get the power on. A lot of people I talk to about which hand is your power hand, what's going on. Now sure, you're going to pull your back hand for that little bit of power, but a more efficient way of doing this is using our harness lines like a pivot and pushing, oh, there it is, whoa, almost to avoid a catapult, pushing that front hand away will, just like that, really start to engage the power. The reverse, of course, if I want to go upwind, depower quickly, or indeed a top turn on a wave and depower like that, I need to bend that front arm just a little bit. Now, it says a bit of a generalization. Most people have their lines, the harness lines, and their front hand too far forward, which means as a result, you have to put your backhand further back and use a lot more arm, shoulder, and body strength. Whereas by having my lines a good distance further back, my front hand nice and far back, and in fact, my hands fairly close together, small little movements, front hand pushing or pulling, really starts to affect the sail, rather than needing to do, I feel it instantly across the front of my shoulders, and particularly actually my lower back. If your back is starting to hurt, it could be, you want to say your stance, but actually it starts from your arms. This starts to hurt a bit. This straighter position with your arms, much more efficient, much less energy. And even just here, I'm on a bit of a lull. That straight stance will really get me through just about on the lull. Let's say that's too much of a lull. I'm stopping. Okay, the gust is about to hit me. My arms are back. Unhooked for a moment. Front hand is pushing that front hand. There we go. Up and onto the plane. Little depower through that front hand can bring me back upwind nice and quickly. Actually, a lot of the control will come from your front hand, not the back hand. It's actually the same when it comes to tacking and jibing. Your front hand should be the one that's doing a lot of the work in those transitions. I'll flash up a little clip just now of a tack, and it's the front hand pulling the sail from one side to the other to initiate the transition, rather than trying to get across to the other side. Your front hand is the one driving and moving that sail. Same with a rig flip on a jibe. And I'll play one quite slowly now. As the jibe comes around, it's the old front hand that brings the sail back up to its balance point. We could even take this further and think that you're trying to learn to loop, for example. Yes, your backhand needs to go back as you pull the trigger and accelerate, but it's just your front hand being really far back too that will really help that jump and loop come around. I reckon that'll do for today. Don't forget, like I mentioned, hit that subscribe button on the Starboard channel you're on right now, and follow the links through to my ride along channel with loads of little short sessions like this with a few top tips to help you out. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you back on the water here in Vasiliki very soon. Okay.